What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So earlier I went to go see Mortal Kombat 2. And yes, this is going to be filled with spoilers. This is my recap slash review of the movie. So if you haven't seen it yet and you don't want any spoilers, come back and watch the video after you've actually seen the movie. But this movie, it hits some nostalgia notes, but I'm gonna say, let's give my review really quick, 7 out of 10. Definitely wasn't a masterpiece, but it has some good fights. In particular, the Liu Kang Kung Lao fight was really entertaining. It was well choreographed. And the Bihan slash Noob Saibot Scorpion fight, really good. Cole Young. So Cole Young, I just want to touch on this really quickly because, Cole Young got a lot of negative feedback, right? Because he's not an original character and people are like, why are you shoehorning this guy in here? They did him dirty while trying to do him justice at the same time. What do I mean by that? He had to fight Shao Kahn for his match. So yes, the tournament has started. The movie kind of goes fast paced. We get introduced to Johnny Cage. We see that he's a failed, well, it's not failed, but he's a has-been actor, and he's at like a Comic-Con event, and nobody cares to see him. Nobody wants an autograph, and you hear people saying like he's old, right? So he does get chosen by Raiden to be their last champion because Kung Lao died in the previous movie. So I just wanted to give that quick recap. That's how Johnny gets on board. Obviously, he doesn't believe it. He's like, get me the hell out of here. I don't want to fight. The tournament starts, but you don't get to choose if you want to fight because he gets pulled into a fight versus Kitana, which he does lose. She spares his life against against Shao Kahn, who is, I guess, her adoptive father's wishes. In the beginning of the movie, we see that Shao Kahn defeated Adolvia, I don't even know how to pronounce it, but it's Kitana's realm, right? That was the 10th straight victory, and he took control of it by killing her father. Therefore, he took her mother to be his queen, which is canon, and he took her as his adopted daughter, which is also canon. So that's why she has to fight for our world. Obviously, we find out she's still working with Earthrealm because her dad gave her a necklace that said, if you're ever in trouble, this was given to us by Lord Raiden and you can ask him for help. So, that was the foreshadowing that she's truly against Shao Kahn, but she has to pretend. And Jade from the games is her bodyguard and also trains her. So they have like a sisterly bond. But yeah, so Johnny Cage wants no part of it, but he has to fight. So he has to fight Kitana. He loses. Like I said, she lets him win. So Cole has to fight Shao Kahn, and he wins his fight technically if Shao Kahn was mortal as you're supposed to be in Mortal Kombat, but Shao Kahn cheated. Similar to in the original series, he cheated and he made himself invincible. So when Cole slit his throat, it healed, and he brutally smashed Cole's head in with his hammer. So like I said, it was like they got rid of the character because they know people weren't a fan of him. He wasn't in the movie much, but at least they let him have a good fight. And he technically won his, well, I can't say technically, he won, but Shao Kahn cheated, so he lost, right? So let's get that Cole Young situation out of the way. R.I.P. Cole. We have Quan Chi in this movie, the necromancer. So he's bringing everybody back to life. He brings back Kano, he brings back Bihan as Noob Saibot, and he brings back Kung Lao to be a champion of Outworld. I wish they would have just introduced new characters instead of just bringing back these other characters. I feel like that would have been a little bit better, a better route to go if they just gave us new Outworld champions instead of, bringing back. Kano actually was brought back to just find the amulet of Shinnok, another reference to the story, because they want that amulet to take Raiden's power and make Shao Kahn invincible. That's how he became invincible, and that's why he was able to survive Cole Young's fatal blow. So Kung Lao comes and he throws his hat, slices Raiden's throat where no one was expecting it, which weakens Raiden. Shang Tsung comes in and takes Raiden's powers, and boom, he has it in the amulet, and they imprint the amulet on Shao Kahn. Now he's a god, now he's immortal. You know, that storyline that we've seen playing out so many times. We have a couple deaths in this, right? We lose Jax. Shao Kahn kills him. Shao Kahn kills Liu Kang in this movie. But Liu Kang says, which was annoying to me, that I'm not the chosen one. My job is to bring back Kung Lao, which is when he fights Kung Lao, he tells him, I'm going to bring you back. I didn't really like that. I understand you wanted Katana to be, and that's why I deducted points. Like, it could have probably been an 8 for me. Look, it's not a masterpiece. I'm rating it based on what it is, right? On the IP, and it was entertaining, and that's what I'm pretty much basing it on. Entertainment and comparison to the game. It hit those marks for me, except for, like I said, it should have had more characters instead of bringing back the previous characters. It should have just introduced new characters. Reptile would have been cool. If you know, he was in the first movie, but we saw him as a reptile. It would have been cool to see him as a actual fighter, and just other Outworld fighters. But man, I'm getting all over the place with it. It's fresh in my mind. I just got back, so I'm trying to slow the brain down and give it to you guys straight. But yes, Katana is the chosen one, and she is the one that has the final battle with Shao Kahn. Now, earlier I said she was fighting for Outworld side, but apparently you can renounce Outworld, and this is all movie stuff. She renounces Outworld and says, I'm gonna fight for Earth. And that's why Outworld didn't actually win, because when Shao Kahn kills Jax and he kills Liu Kang, that should have given, and he defeats Sonya, that should have been the win for Outworld, but she renounces Outworld, fights for Earth, and the battle resumes. Now, Noob Saibot has taken the amulet to Netherrealm, and that is where Kano, Johnny Cage, go to get Scorpion to be their guide, right? Because he's dead. So he's in Netherrealm, and he's their guide because he, you know, at first he refuses, but they tell him Bihan is back, and you know he hates Bihan. That's his rival. So he's like, all right, I'll guide you guys. So they get into their fight. Noob Saibot, you know, he can multiply himself. So he does that. They're all engaged. Johnny doesn't have his Arcana the whole movie until the end, which made sense. He does like the shadow kick, pretty much, and that's what destroys the amulet. But Jade also came to help after she betrayed Katana, which you could see coming, right? Which was, I felt like that was weirdly done in terms of pacing, because they should have let her, she should have betrayed Katana earlier. Instead, they waited for her to lose her fight against Jax, and which Jax spares her. So you're like, okay, maybe this is her turn, the turning point for her character, because she got spared. And he said it was because of Katana, but no, then she goes around and betrays Katana. Like, maybe she was embarrassed because she lost. I don't know. I was so ready to staying in favor because she lost. It's possible. They don't explain that, but it just didn't make sense. It felt like she should have betrayed Katana when she first found out Katana went to Earthrealm, instead of waiting till later. But whatever. So deduct another point again. So like, if you start at a 10, those are the deductions. The Liu Kang situation, right, drops it to a 9, and then this pacing issue drops it to an 8. Then we just get to a 7 because it's just not a concise and flowing story. There's a lot of moments where you're just like, Shao Kahn just killed him, right? And there's like so much slowdown effects. It's taking its time. Like when Shang Tsung goes to kill Raiden when he's in a vulnerable state, like it takes him like 10 minutes to just stab him. You know what I mean? Like, I know you got to build suspense for a movie, but this is Mortal Kombat. It doesn't make sense. People just get offed. So I felt like, you know, that didn't live up to the, so, you know, you deduct the point for that. So we're at a 7. Not all the fights were great. Johnny's fight with Baraka was really cool. because that was how they needed to sneak into Shao Kahn's throne, was using Baraka, but first Johnny had to fight him. That was entertaining. That was a cool fight. It was silly but entertaining, right? Because it was like, Sonya tells Johnny you're not a fighter, be an actor. So now he's acting out the moves he did in his movies, but it was already explained that he was a 5-time champion and a world champion. So it's like, he doesn't need to be actor. He is a real fighter. So again, this is where you lose. This is why by the story flow was just off. So it drops it down to a 7. And trust me, it's probably more of a 6, but I'm a fan of Mortal Kombat nostalgia, so I'm gonna keep it at a solid 7. But yes, Johnny destroys the amulet with the help of Scorpion, Kano, and Jay. It took all of them to stop Bihan from getting away with the amulet again. Johnny destroys it, makes Shao Kahn mortal. Katana kills him. That's sort of how the movie ends, except they all get together again. They say, hey, we got to go save our friend. So I guess they're going to go try to rescue Liu Cage, not Liu Cage, Liu Kang, Kung Lao, Jax, and possibly Cole Young. I don't know. Are they going to save these guys? Maybe. I don't know. They said we got to go save our friends. I'm assuming that's what they meant by that. I just thought when you died in one combat, you died. But it is a video game. Characters come back all the time. So yes, I get it. Whatever. I didn't really understand the ending. I kind of thought they would just kill off the series, but I guess they said we got to leave it open depending on how much money we make. And we make a shit ton of money, we are green lighting a third movie, and we're going to have a trilogy. Maybe we actually get Shinnok because he is referenced as Shinnok's amulet. So maybe that's possible. They kind of, made Shang Tsung a lackey where he's, works for Shao Kahn, and you could tell he was afraid of Shao Kahn, right? So I don't think it would be him. So I'm gonna assume it's gonna be Shinnok, right? So yeah, that was the movie in a nutshell, right? That's my little quick recap. Like I said, to my knowledge, Liu Kang, it should always be the hero and the chosen one. It's just from how I remember the games. I think he even becomes an elder god at some point, right? Or at least a god at some point. So yeah, I didn't like that. Not for the sake of Katana. Yes, she's an important character, but not to be the one that actually kills Shao Kahn. I would have even liked if Raiden woke up and killed him, right? That would have been pretty cool if they destroyed the amulet and Raiden gets back, because he pretty much told Shang Tsung to start running when he woke up, because clearly he's more powerful than Shang Tsung. So yeah, I would have even appreciated that more. But like I said, the really high points was Johnny Cage, Carl Urban. He just delivers on everything that he does. Like, this man needs to get his flowers. He just delivers on everything from Dread to Lord of the Rings to The Butcher to Johnny Cage. He steals the movie easily. The fight choreography, like I said, Liu Kang, Kung Lao was really good. Noob Saibot, Scorpion was really good. Got the iconic get over here. Johnny had his moments, and those are the high points of the movie. And like I said, Liu Kang just looks so cool. So to like make him not the hero, just was a little, to me, a bad decision. But I'm gonna stop rambling. I think it's a 7 out of 10. I'm giving it some extra points for nostalgia just because I'm a fan of the IP. You guys probably think it might be a little lower. You may even think it's a little bit higher. I don't know. But with Street Fighter coming out, that's the competition, right? Always Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat. So I'm definitely looking forward to see Street Fighter. I enjoyed this. I was entertained. Were you? You can tell me that in the comment section below. Right? It's like you get the video, you get the description, and you get the comment section. So go in there, help the engagement and tell me what you think. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you thought I was rambling, tell me. Maybe I was a little off, a little kooky. I just got back, like I said, from watching the movie. If you want to hear more, you can subscribe. I like doing these reviews. I like talking to people about movies in general. My friends and I used to go to movies every Friday as kids for, I don't know, like 6 years straight. You know, we just walk to the mall and just go see whatever whatever was playing that looked interesting, we would go watch. But with that being said, you could also click the notification bell if you want to hear more videos. And I think we're going to leave it there and hit you guys off with a peace.